Hello everyone and welcome back. Today's review is all about the 2026 ROX 01 that I'm going to be driving for the next few days. It's finished in this beautiful white paint, contrasting very nicely with the scenery all around us. Now this car is very well loaded. It's four-wheel drive, it's fully electric, but it has an engine that does not power the wheels. It's an EREV. But first impressions, let me know what you think of the styling. First things first, this is what the key fob looks like. Super minimalist and very small, fits very nicely in your pocket, but you can actually replace that with an app on your phone to control all sorts of stuff, including moving the car forward and back. So yeah, it's really nice to have connectivity through your phone. And here's a quick walk around of the ROX 01. I have to start off by saying that this car was designed by Pininfarina, which explains why this car looks very aggressive and beautiful looking, I have to say, compared to any other Chinese model in this segment. Pininfarina have an office in Shanghai, and they just did such a good job with the front end of this thing, very rectangular shape, and the LED lighting elements, which mimic the back as well. We have the same silhouette when you look at it from the side. And again, this white paint accentuates a lot of the nice grille design, and I just love how clean it looks. It's a very interesting paint color, by the way, metallic, glistening under the sunlight. Now, there are two-seat configuration for the ROX 01. You can get a six-seater, like the model we have here, with large captain chairs, and a seven-seat configuration as well. And it's super easy to get into the third row of seats. With the press of a button, the seat will quickly move forward, and then you have plenty of space, even for a 186-centimeter adult like me. It's pretty spacious to sit in the back. I also find it super satisfying that the spare tire in the back is also color matched, so the top part is black and the bottom is white, just like the back of the car. Now, I don't know about you, but every time I think about a luxury SUV, I imagine it to have captain chairs in the back. And this thing feels like a private jet. First of all, we have our own cup holders, but that's not the interesting part. Pressing on this button will basically create a full first class flight seating position with a very comfortable cushion in the back. I swear to God, I can even sleep. And to keep me entertained, I have a television that drops down. You know these vans, these luxury vans that transport your favorite artists? I mean, this just feels like it, with a huge screen. You can even connect your phone, and you can actually get an HDMI to USB-C converter, and you can basically play Xbox on that large screen. Pretty cool, I have to say. We have heated and ventilated functioning as well. Now, for starters, the ROX 01 is not a conventional hybrid. There's a 1.5-liter turbocharged four-cylinder engine, but it does not power any of the wheels. It's a range extender, so it only charges the battery, and it could supply power to the electric motors once that battery is depleted, for a total output of 476 PS or 740 Newton meters of torque for the combined total setup. 5.5 seconds to 100 kilometers an hour is not too shabby, and the car is pretty heavy. It's 2.7 tons, so we have great power to get this car going. The main headline's 56 kilowatt-hour battery with 235 kilometers of range without that engine. With that engine, it extends to up to 1,135 kilometers, so basically range anxiety is non-existent, and whenever that battery is just depleted, you can just fuel up that old four-cylinder and you're just ready to go. I just love EREVs. It makes so much sense. And on the inside, you also get a two-tone scheme, camel on this black leather. And I have to say, every single panel inside this car is either leather wrapped, or even at the bottom you have the carpets, but no low quality plastics anywhere, which is a big thumbs up. We have a two-spoke steering wheel, which is flat bottomed, chrome accents, and basic controls on either sides of the wheel. I love this section on the left, which you can control air conditioning, so fan speed, temperature, and you also have a personalized button, the star, which opens up the camera system, and I believe you can change that via the screen. And on the right, you have multimedia controls with voice command. Please open the window.
Window opening.
So you can see how fast that voice command is. So pretty cool stuff, nothing laggy. Everything works perfectly. We also have a digital rear view mirror. And in the center, you will find two wireless charging pads, two cup holders, as well as a physical gear selector. And that's it. No other buttons are in the center. We also have a huge center console area. But if you want to change your driving modes and your off-road settings, you simply press on these four tires over here, and then you have a huge screen to control all sorts of stuff. It will display pitch angle and roll angle, and the different driving modes. We have 700 millimeters of weight capability, and keeping it in Sport Plus will maximize the power, so the battery and the engine will power the electric motor to give you a maximum boost. And this is what POV looks sitting behind the wheel of the ROX 01. You're going to see stalks over here for your wiper commands, and on the right for cruise control, a large driver screen that displays everything you might think of, and you can control that via the button over here. So ROX mode, trip info, multimedia, all the basic stuff. And then on the right, you are going to find this huge infotainment screen, which again has Apple CarPlay. And there's a bunch of settings to scroll through. This is your app section, so the main modes that you want to see. These are your driving modes. And if I were to switch between CarPlay and the main screen, you are going to find shortcut buttons for the driving mode, along with the light, including the camera system. So this is what the camera looks like. If I go to hub, the wheel hub, so you can see all those side views on each and every tire. And honestly, I just love how easy this car is to use. If you've never owned or driven any of these new generation cars, I mean, for 2026, a lot of the main things are through the infotainment system and a lot of gimmicky tech that the old generation might be confused about. But this car is very straightforward, not many buttons to worry about. Simply go onto that screen the first time you buy the car, go through everything and press every single button, and then you'll be just good to go. This car is pretty straightforward and very comfortable to drive. Now, 5.5 seconds to 100 kilometers an hour is not too shabby for a car that weighs 2.7 tons. Now, you have to concern yourself with three main driving modes in this thing. If you press on the right side of the screen, you will have electric, e-save, and hybrid. Electric is basically all electric mode, so you're using up only battery power. If you go on e-save, this is where the engine comes in to either recharge the battery or power the electric motors. So you're basically staying at a constant percent of battery. So if it's at 20%, it will maintain that 20% or charge it even more, depending obviously on driving conditions and how the recuperation is happening. In hybrid, this is where like the maximum performance is. So the engine will basically put in the power with the battery. So they're kind of like both powering the electric motors, which is an interesting thing to point out. And I have to say again, for some, I wouldn't say exciting driving dynamics, but this thing going through corners, it doesn't tilt, to the side. It just feels planted, and you can confidently go in. A bit of tire squeak right there, but yeah, it's actually a fun car to drive. It's not boring, it's not annoying at all, and I like to keep my suspension settings in sport. Steering is in comfort, and I just love how that steering wheel is shaped, and it's super smooth to glide through like city driving and normal daily driving.